This is our raken. We actually have some quail here and a few of our rabbit cages. And then of course the rest is our rabbits. Our chickens during the day are able to come and go. Obviously they have their nest boxes over here. And then at night we lock them up. So again, this is our raken, derived from Joel Salatin's raken, miniaturized of course for our much smaller setup. Again, we do let them come and go, so they free range all over our property during the day, come in here as they want to come lay eggs, and then at night they are locked up, and we let them out again in the morning. We keep some of our grow outs in here. This is a group here that's ready for the freezer, so they will be processed here very shortly. We've already pulled their water and their feed, so we can go ahead and process them today. And then we have a couple of rabbit tractors that we have some grow outs in as well. These will be moved out to the next one that's freed up on it. You'll notice we have a couple of pairs together. These are reserved. We don't normally keep our rabbits in pairs. We keep them in single, as you can see, with one and one in each cage. That is our normal setup, of course, as most people would do. But again, we have some reservations on people coming by these pairs, so that's why we're keeping them together. But again, of course, just like in Joel Salatin's, keeping the chickens off the rabbits is very important. We've clipped our cages in a way that we can remove the cages as well as the chicken blockers, if you will, so that we can come in and harvest the compost with the tractor. Just a matter of taking this wall down with the tractor, driving in, pull out all the compost, reload it with wood chips, and of course start the whole process all over again. We do in the summer keep a fan for them. We also have a very powerful fan outside for the really hot days when we push the triple digits. For the most part, this fan does a pretty good job. But again, that's our raken. We really like it. We've been using it, made some updates to it over the last year, but we're pretty happy with the way we've got it set up now. Don't really anticipate any more tweaks, but you never know. We could spend another year working some more things out and maybe improve it another way. But for now, this works really well. Even with the quail in here, that's working out well for us. So we will continue that and see how that goes. If it keeps working the way it is, and we will maintain this setup. If you have rabbits, I highly encourage you to consider this. Even if you have a small setup, I mean, you can shrink this down to a much smaller, where maybe you just had one bank of cages, and just give your chickens the ability to come in and out, where they can keep the smell from getting really bad, and obviously create compost for you. You end up with a chicken run anyway, so certainly would be a good way to go, even for a really small operation. I mean, I'm talking 2 does and a buck. You could set up like this corner here, basically, and you would get some good compost created, not have to worry about the smell, and gain that stacking function that you get with rabbits up top and chickens down below. Just like Joel Salatin says, we have no roost bars in here. The chickens are just on the ground. We used to have roost bars in this area here, and only a few chickens actually roosted on them, so we took them down and added another bank of cages, which has allowed us to expand our operation a little bit, which was good because we needed to expand. So again, just wanted to show this. Maybe it's helpful in seeing a smaller model. We don't have the stands, That's one thing I will point out too. I know with the Joel Salatin model, they have them on almost like benches, and then they move the benches from one housing to another. We actually have this with completely floating cages. You can see underneath, and then if we wanted to get in here and just pull some out by hand, we wouldn't have to worry about working around any legs. I actually could get a good bit out of here with the tractor without even having to pull any of these cages out. So again, we like this setup this way. The one thing I will say, I picked this up, I can't even remember where I saw it, but using this conduit, metal conduit, and using that as a support rather than just attaching to the cage, that really helps the hanging function to where it has the stability that it needs, that you might not find if you were to just hook it straight onto the wire. Eventually that wire would probably bend, sag, and again, just some old gas line from the house before we did a remodel that we had laying around, and it worked out really well.